Good morning, healthpreneurs. Hope you're having a great start to your day. It's been a really interesting couple of weeks for me, and I want to share hopefully a helpful epiphany in this episode with you. And it's all about the growing pains of business. So you may have heard me say this before. I believe that other than having kids, having your own business and growing a successful business is one of the best personal development or spiritual journeys you can ever go on, because there is so much growth you have to go through, like an immense amount of growth that for the most part doesn't happen in most other things, right? So one of the, and I talked about like the coaching success ladder, right? The 7 stages you all have to, everyone has to go through, and the whole saying that like what got you here is not going to get you there. And it's so true, because if you think about it, when you're first starting your business, like most people are just trying to figure out the basics, like, hey, how do I send an email from ActiveCampaign, or how do I set up a business manager on Facebook, right? And that's where, things start like that. And you have to get proficient at that stuff. You have to be good at doing the basics. And like initially you're very tactically involved in doing everything because it's just you. And then maybe you hire an assistant or someone to help you out in business eventually, and then you start moving on to other things. And I can tell you that like it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier, right? You get better, or you have to get better. And the only reason that your business is not where you want it to be is because of you. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also very encouraging because you have 100% control over your destiny if that's the case. So for instance, like right now, like one of the big epiphanies that I've had in my business is that, and I've known this for some time, is I have been the major driver of my business. And I was talking with one of my coaches, because yes, I invest in coaching every single month, every single year for the past 9 years. And he was saying, listen, man, if you're the driver of your business, you can't grow it. You can't grow it by this point. At this point where your business is at, you can't keep driving it because you're going to burn yourself out and kill yourself in the process. And I know that. I mean, I've recognized that, and we have a great team. And even in spite of our team, there still are some very severe operational deficiencies, which has meant that I've been more involved tactically than I need to be. So part of the process that I'm going through now, and I've been going through over the past couple of weeks, has really been like to really fix a lot of those operational things so that moving into the new year and beyond, we can start to really grow very rapidly without my needing to be the person doing all the directing, if you will, right? Or all the driving. It's like I can sit in the passenger seat in the car and know that the person who's driving the car, which is my team, is doing an amazing job. And the thing though is that it didn't start out there, right? It didn't start out with worrying about a team and all that kind of stuff. Like first and foremost, my journey started off with no direction. So that was the first mistake, is when you don't know what to do, you do everything. And that's, I talked about the three skills that you need to develop over time is you have to be effective, you have to be efficient, and you have to be proficient. And I wasn't effective when I started. So I spent 3 years not knowing what to do. So effectiveness is knowing what to do. And that's, if you don't know what to do, you need to find a path and a model that works. That's the most important thing you have to identify with. You have to find the path or the plan that's going to make the most sense for you. Now, again, if you want our help, go to workwithyuri.com. We can talk about what that might look like for your business. But I can promise you it's not posting on social media and posting blog posts or networking events and none of that stuff. Okay. It's not about that stuff, because if you're doing that stuff, it can work, but it's a long, painful road. So you have to know what to do. That's the most important first step. Once you know what to do. So for instance, like our clients who come to work with us, they know what to do, right? They're like, okay, cool. Perfect client pipeline. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. Blinders on, right? Now, it's about doing things efficiently, which means doing the things that you have to do, but doing them right. Like learning how to write or how to message what you do in a way that's compelling, how to create an offer that people care about, that they're like, man, I want this, right? How to put together, for instance, a Facebook ad or a webinar, know how to conduct an enrollment call or a strategy call in a way that enrolls people and it doesn't feel salesy or pushy. These are efficiencies, right? Knowing what to do is the first step. Knowing how to do them right is the second step. And the third thing is proficiency. Third thing is proficiency, which means how to do them better. And how we do them better is we train and we repeat and we practice. Actually, today, this afternoon, I'm running a selling skills session with our clients. So we'll be going over like live role plays on how to do one aspect of enrollment calls. And we're going to drill it for an hour. We're going to practice and repeat and rehearse and all that kind of stuff. Actually, at our next Luminaries Mastermind in Florida in March, it's a sales intensive. We're actually going to do on the spot, in person, live, like an entire day of this stuff because it's so important. And so that is how you become proficient. You become a master at that. So, but here's the thing, is that you will get to a point where you become proficient at something. And the most important thing you need to be proficient in at this stage of the game, if you're relatively early on in business, and when I say relatively early on, I mean a minimum, if you're under, let's say $500,000 in revenue, the most important thing you have to get very, very good at is sales and marketing. And that means knowing how to speak to people so they say yes, knowing how to put together copy in a way that's compelling, knowing how to create an offer and messaging. These are things that we help our clients with. These are things you have to master. Otherwise, you don't have a business. You will not have the revenue to keep growing, right? And listen, like I don't mean to downplay or be condescending, but if your business is generating a couple $1,000s a month, you don't have a business. You don't have a business, and it's so sad because like you probably have magic that can make a huge difference in someone's life, like big time. You have a protocol or a way to help people, and you might be more in love with your program than you are about actually solving a problem that people need solved. Like a lot of times we'll talk to people and they're like, oh my God, I've got this amazing thing and it's great. I'm like, awesome. Well, how much are you making? Oh, like a couple $100 a month. Then it's not that great because people don't want it. That's the reality, right? Or you just don't know how to package it in a way where it's like, oh my God, I have to have that. And I don't mean to shoot down your life's work. Listen, like every mistake you have made or are making or are about to make, I've probably made a few times. And I share this with you because it really hurts me when I see, like, the reason I do this, the reason I do what I do, and we built Healthpreneur, is because I really, really care about health entrepreneurs. I really believe that you have an ability to make a massive difference in someone's life. And it bothers me when I see, the average salary of a health coach or related type of business of like $37,000 a year. Like in Toronto, where I live, you can't live on $37,000 a year. It's impossible, right? And I don't know where you live, but I believe not just from a sake of living well, but remember, your income is a byproduct of the value you create in the world. So if you think you're doing amazing things and your income is nothing, you're not, right? And I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. And it's a hard pill to swallow. I know. And listen, like I've had many sleepless nights. I've had many, dude, you're not as cool as you think you are type of moments, because I remember one of my programs, Super Nutrition Academy. I thought this was the best thing of all time. I'm like, oh my God, everyone needs this. Everyone needs this. They need to learn about nutrition and how carbohydrates are assimilated in the body and how the GLUT4 receptors take glucose out of the blood and into the cell. And that's why I thought this stuff, because I was interested in that. And when I went to school for nutrition, it changed my life. So I'm like, let me put together a nutrition school for everyday people. In 1 hour a week, it's like a 4-year degree in nutrition. That was kind of like our whole promise. And I spent 1,000 hours developing this program before I brought it to market. And this is a major mistake that this is why, like, if you're one of our clients, I tell you, don't obsess about your product. Just get the minimum viable product out there and make sure that it's working first. Because I spent 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. I don't even know how many. That's like half a year. That is, I think it's about 6 months, 40-hour weeks of developing a program and then selling it as a membership, $47 a month. And it was so awful in terms of the response. Like, it was so bad. And then what I had to end up doing is we had to start doing all sorts of tricks and circus acts to try to get people in, like free trials and get all these bonuses when you do. And the stick rate was 3 months. So the average value of a customer is $100. For what? Like, it was ridiculous. So when I share this stuff with you, it's coming from a place of love, because I don't want you to go through that stuff. And I don't even know where I was going with this. But coming back to sales and marketing, I guess, right? Like, I believe, like my utopian scenario, let me do this. I'm going to read you our mission, okay? And hopefully this will give you a bit of context. And I'm going to read it word for word because I've updated this recently to be a bit more impactful. And I want to just share this with you because this is why we do what we do, and this is our whole driving force behind our business. So here it is. We help ambitious or driven health and fitness entrepreneurs who want to impact more lives, earn more income, and live life on their terms by creating predictable systems, frameworks, and processes to help them get more clients and scale their coaching businesses online. The change we want to make is that health professionals stand in their power, earn what they're worth, and build smarter, more profitable businesses that transform more people's lives. We know that we are successful when our clients have the financial means, freedom, and fulfillment to live and contribute in a bigger way by helping hundreds, if not thousands of them create multi-million-dollar companies that are changing the world. And they tell everyone they know about how amazing we are to work with. Okay? That is our mission. That's why we do what we want to do. And as it says, like, our goal is to help you build financial freedom so you can really build a fulfilling business that is impacting as many people as you want to impact. Whether that's hundreds, thousands, millions, it doesn't matter, right? And that you're creating a business that is not like you running a job. It's an actual business, a business that, 10, 20, 50 years down the road leaves a legacy on this planet, right? Something that has really, really made an impact. And I think where people get lost sometimes is they focus on, let's start with that legacy. Let's focus on that big thing 50 years down the road, and let's start there now. Let's become the influencer. Let me become famous now so I can have that type of impact. And like, as I've talked about before, you have to build your income before your influence. And that's why, when we look at the growing pains of business, the most, let's say, painful growth period you're going to go through is when you're starting, because everything is brand new. And as you're growing, you're going to get to the next level, right? Where you're going to become good at sales and marketing. And now you're going to have a problem of like, how do I keep up with all of these phone calls that are coming in? Or how do I start to systemize my business? And now we start to get to the next level, the next problem. How do I build a team? How do I develop leaders? How do I onboard new team members? How do all this stuff, right? It never ends. It never ends. And I can promise you in a couple of years or maybe sooner, when we're on pace to do like $100 million a year, I can promise you, I don't know what those problems are going to be, but I can promise you there's going to be some problems. And what I'm excited about is about becoming the person that can handle that stuff. That's what I think the real goal in business is. It's a game. If you're playing this to make money, don't even start, because you're going to get to a point where you're like, cool, I made $10,000 a month. Awesome. Great job. Now what? You're just going to chill on the beach? No, like, that's a good milestone to have. That's a good kind of starting point. But if the goal is just to make money, you will never be satisfied, right? Because it's never going to be enough, and it's not really fulfilling. It's not compelling. You can't rally a team eventually around, hey, we're just going to make more money. No, it's got to have a greater purpose. It has to have a bigger mission behind it. And for me, what I've recognized, and I may have mentioned this in a previous episode, was I had a call a couple of days ago with someone who's like, hey, what's the outcome? Like, what's your big goal? And I said, listen, I don't even know. It's not what I do know. I mean, the mission, as I read to you, is the goal. But he was asking, like, financially, what's the goal? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can see within the next 12 months, for instance, but 5 years, 10 years down the road, I can't even tell you if it's 50 million or 100 million, because those numbers would they mean nothing to me right now. What is more meaningful, and what I want to encourage you to think about, is playing the game of business, being excited about failing, being excited about winning, being excited about learning, being excited about growing, being excited that it's all part of the process. It's all here to serve you, good and bad. I mean, there is no good or bad. Really, it's all serving you. So it's all good, right? If you've just started deploying your Facebook ads and they're not working out, hey, thank you so much for throwing this first challenge my way, right? Or if your Facebook ads are doing well and you're getting people on the phone for like $20, like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you have like 20 phone calls and like no one enrolls with you. Well, you don't need to sink into a deep depression Again, thank you. Thank you for this challenge. Thank you for this learning opportunity. Because here's the thing is, if you take the approach that you can grow through everything, then just think about this a year from now. 1 year from today, end of December, end of the year 2020. I want you to take yourself there for a second. Think about this. End of 2020, you're looking back last year, so to like today. And whatever you're dealing with right now, you can laugh about it. You're sitting by the fireplace, drinking a hot cocoa at a ski resort, if that's what you're into in the wintertime. I might be on the beach as opposed to a ski resort. But you're sipping a hot cocoa and you're like, man, remember that issue we had like a year ago? What a joke. It's amazing to see how far we've come in this time. And if you take that perspective now, knowing that you will get through it, then it becomes more digestible. It becomes more exciting because it's like, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they think they can go from grade 1 to university without going through the journey. You can't. Like, you can't go to grade 3 without going to grade 2. I mean, for the most part. And yet, I don't think, and this is why I do this podcast, because I want to just kind of knock some common sense back into this world of entrepreneurship, is to constantly remind us and remind you that it's a journey. Like, you might be in grade 5 right now, and you have to go to grade 6 and then go to grade 7 and then grade 8 and so forth and so on. You can't go from grade 5 into your master's degree in university. It just doesn't work like that. And you have to go through the steps. But the cool thing is that it doesn't necessarily have to take 1 year for every grade. You rapidly increase your trajectory, your progression based on how much you're willing to work at something, right? And your kind of obsessiveness with moving through things and learning and growing. So it's just a really, really exciting journey. Like, I really, 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 really am so grateful for being an entrepreneur. Like, it's not even having my own business. It's for being an entrepreneur, for like having the DNA of knowing like this is the only way I can live. Like, this is the only way I know to live. Like, I could never work for someone else ever. Right. And that's just me. Like I'm so grateful that not everyone's like that, because we would never be able to build teams, right? You can be an entrepreneur within a company, or you can be the person running the company, right? But I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that we all have to use the internet, to do things that we want to do to serve the world. And the reason that I'm so passionate about helping people like yourself is because I know it's possible. I know what's possible. And it's really just, it's a luck combination. Like, if you're a true expert, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. You have no business helping people if you can't help people. But if you can help people, because you've already done the journey of like schooling, all that experience, like you've run your own clinic, your studio, your gym, whatever, and now you're at a point where you're ready to really level up, you've already done the hard work. And now we're going to start to build the work from a business perspective and get you to that level. And that's fun. That's a lot of fun, right? So if you are thinking to yourself, man, like, yeah, like, I went through 4 to 8 years of post-secondary education and I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a degree. Good for you. It's not a waste, but it would be a waste if you don't learn how to build your business. That's the big travesty, is it becomes a massive waste if you don't learn how to build your business, because now that cool degree on your wall, it's not helping people. It's not helping enough people. It's not helping you. And listen, if you want our help to step up and really create something magical in your business, in your life, for other people, for yourself, for your family, then I'm sure we could possibly help. I'm sure we could possibly help. That doesn't even make sense. I'm sure we could help if you meet the criteria that we look for in our clients. Number 1, you have to be a true expert. Number 2, you have to have an existing business that's generating revenue. You have experience working with clients. Number 3, you have to have some proven offer, like a way that person comes in, you say, hey, I've got this thing. They're like, yeah, cool, awesome, let's do that. If you have those 3 criteria, then I'm certain we can make a massive difference in your business. If that's the case and you want our help, go to workwithyuri.com, workwithyuri.com, fill out a few questions about your business, and then book in a call to speak with us, and we'll figure out what's going on in your business, where you want to go, and put together a game plan to get you there. Does that sound good? So thanks so much for joining me today. You rock. Never doubt yourself, even though it's part of the process. But just understand that you will grow through whatever you're going through. You will grow through whatever you're going through. That's a good phrase. I'm gonna jot that one down. Anyways, workwithyuri.com. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next episode.